Okay, let's give this a try. So I should be live right now. Let's see, wait, let me just test my audio. I don't hear anything yet. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that works. That's great, that's great. That's great. Okay. Hello, what's up? It's been a while. I don't go live that often, but here I am. And today I'm making just a simple game. Probably just a tiny top-down shooter. So let's just immediately get started. It's been a long while since I've made any game, especially like small games. But yeah, here I am, and I figured I might as well stream while doing it. Not making anything huge. I'm thinking just like a tiny top-down shooter, wave-based. Because my first ever game that I made was a top-down shooter as well, and I've always quite liked them. So why not? You know. So let me grab the color that's actually the background of my stream, because I really like that color. There we go. So I'm not really gonna, I don't think I'm really gonna explain everything that I'm gonna do. Like I'm not gonna be making this a tutorial, although maybe I will if you guys want it. Let's see. So let's just start with making the player character. So let's make the player like a circle. Make him like black for now. There we go. So it's been a pretty long time since I've made a top-down shooter game like this. Probably been like 2 years or something, so it's quite a while. And I've been really busy with studying. Well, not right now, it's my summer break, but the last year and the year before that as well. So I haven't been spending too much time making games myself. I did make a, if you guys checked my itch.io page, I'm talking to nobody, by the way. There's nobody watching this except for me, but that's fine. But I made a small like COD Zombies clone, which I haven't finished yet, although it is a playable demo. Like it's definitely works and it's playable, so that's always fun. And I was really pretty proud of myself, because it was a pretty complicated game to make, and I made it only in 1 week. So maybe I will make a devlog about it soon. Not right now though. But maybe once the game is a little more polished. So let me open up this script, which isn't working. I'm not sure why. Why is this not working? Let me check if the audio actually works. Okay, yeah, it works. Great. Let me switch to my full screen, which should work, I think. Why is this? Why do I have a duplicated... Do I have a duplicated screen? I do not know. I don't think I do. No, it's fine. Make this a little bit bigger so it fits. Okay, let's see what it looks like on stream. It's not working properly yet. Okay, programming. Yeah, okay, it fits one. It fits now. That's great. So we're just making player movement. I'm doing rigid body based movement. That's always the easiest. Let's see if I know how to do this from the top of my head. So we're gonna make something with move speed. I think this is really all we need for now, right? Because top-down movement is super easy to make. So we're gonna grab our rigid body 2D. Oh wait, right. We need a horizontal input and a vertical input, because we need to get input, of course. And since we're doing with rigid body, we want it in fixed update. So let's say horizontal input equals input of get axis raw, because I'm still not fully used to the new input system. Although maybe I will incorporate it in my the zombie survival game that I talked about before. So we're just grabbing the input here, then we're going to say rb dot, oh, just got a notification, rb dot linear velocity. We're going to set it to a new vector 2 of horizontal input, which is going to be between -1 and 1, and 0 if it's if we're not moving. Multiplied by move speed, multiplied by time dot fixed delta time. I'm thinking I forgot something here. Oh no, let's see. Then we're gonna do, so everything's going not the way I want it. Always when I'm streaming and we're doing fixed delta time because we are doing physics stuff. So let's get back to Unity, see if this works. Alright, I've literally just started, so for the new people in the stream, I'm just doing a super tiny top-down shooter game because I wanted to make something and I figured I might as well stream it, right? So let's add a rigid body and then make it not rotate and set gravity to 0 so we don't fall down. And then add a circle collider 2D, which should already work, yes. Okay, let's also give the player a bit of a color. I'm thinking something bluish. That's a nice blue. And we're gonna add eyes in a second. Let's see if my code works. Oh, I obviously have to set speed to something. Yeah, that works, there we go. Set speed to something big, because we do want to be able to move pretty quickly. Yeah, okay, that feels pretty nice. Should probably be even higher, 350. There we go. Player controls, super easy. Like I said, top-down shooter code is super easy. Let's head back in here. So let's immediately add some abilities because why not? So I want, let's actually make this normalized. So let's make a vector 2 normalized, that's with a set, right? Normalized input. So we're gonna say new vector 2 horizontal input, vertical input. But normalized, is that the way it works? It should work. No, wait, this isn't. We need to copy this. And then normalize this. Because right now, what happens is we move quicker if we're going vertical, or not. What's it called? Not diagonally, that's the word I was looking for. If we move diagonally, then we're gonna go faster, which shouldn't happen right now. So let's take a quick look if that works. Yeah, it does work, but it makes us much slower. So let's set this a lot higher. It's still a lot higher. Oh, right. Wait, it's because of, yeah, this makes sense. We're making it a maximum of 1 right now. Let's see. How about we do dot normalize. Why does that not work? It should work. Okay, everybody just left the stream. That's crazy. Wow, okay. Okay, let's just leave it like this for now. I'm gonna make some custom sprites in a second. So let's make a gun, weapon. Place it right here. Then let's just add a sprite for now. That should be a square. Place it above the player. Like that. Make it like 0.25. Place it like over here. That should be fine. If we rotate this, oh, I did it not correctly because this needs to be at the center of the player. So now if we rotate this, it should go around if I do it properly. Well, it goes around. See? Okay, that works. Set it back to 0. There we go. And let's call this like sprite for now. Sprite. Make this thinner. That's fine, but I don't want it to be that color. Let's make it like, I don't know, red. No, that's confusing. Black is fine. Did I call this player already? Yeah, I did. Okay, let's add a fire point, which is gonna go over here. Why is this not centered? It should be in the center. There we go. Then let's create a bullet or projectile. Let's just call it projectile for now. And I think I'm gonna make the bullet check for the enemy. I think that works best. So let's make a tag. That's not, no, let's make a tag called enemy. And then we don't have to do anything here. Let's add a circle. So like 1 something. And then make the circle a lot smaller. So it can actually fit through the bottom, but the barrel of the weapon. There we go. That looks decent enough. What color should this be? I like this color. It's a shade of red. Give the weapon the same color, I think, for now. There we go. Okay, now let's add some rotation, which I don't remember how to do that. So let's add a weapon controller. This is gonna be a very simple game. It's gonna be really simple. There we go. Let's add this to our, not to our projectile, of course. Well, let's make immediately another script called bullet. I will call it bullet, because why not? So there are a couple of ways of doing this, a couple of ways of making a bullet shoot out. But I think the easiest is to just give this thing a rigid body and a circle collider. I already had it there. And then make the circle collider fit the bullet. There we go, that's perfect. 0.1. Yeah, that's fine. And then set this to be no gravity. There we go. And let's set collision mode to continuous, because I don't want this to go through anything. And maybe I'll add like a little, what's it called, trail renderer. Oh, that should, okay, that always looks super weird. Set time to something much smaller, like 0.5. That's much better already. And then make the width like this, but I still want the width to be smaller here. Much smaller, much smaller. There we go. Okay. I need to give this a different material, so it's got no material right now. I can give it like the default sprite one. Yeah, that's fine. That looks decent enough. Give it the same color. There we go. Oh, why can I not paste this? Oh, that's why. Makes sense. Okay, so I guess what I'm gonna do is grab this color from the trail renderer and just add it over here, and the same over here, except we're gonna set the alpha to 0. There we go. So now it should be a nice fade out. Well, I mean, I guess it's a fade out. You know, let's take a look what this looks like in game. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, let's make a prefabs folder. Now this is really making me kind of nostalgic for those really old games I would make, or I mean, yeah, there were like those really simple games I would make, because the first game I ever made, like, let's go to my itch.io page. Oh, this is the live stream. If you go to itch.io, like, you guys should play this game, by the way. This is a great game. You know, I made this in a week. It's a COD Zombies clone. It's great, but it's not perfect yet. But this game is the first game I ever made, and it's also a top-down shooter. So I'm basically just remaking my old game. Okay, let's head back into Unity. So I've said that like a billion times during my tutorials, which I definitely should start making tutorials again. Okay, let's open this up. Start with a private game object. Let's call this projectile prefab. And let's make a float, call this shoot force. And I want a also serialized field, which in case you guys are wondering, it's called I make a I type serialized field and then private, so I can edit and so I can view or like so the variable gets exposed in the inspector without having to make it public, because it's best to keep as much public as possible. So let's call this fire point. And I'm also gonna make, I should probably just do a float called fire delay or like shoot delay. I need to be consistent. Let's call this shoot, it's fine. Fire delay, which I'll set to like, I don't know, 0.5 seconds, so we can shoot twice per second, and then a private float current fire delay, which should be 0. Then in the update function, and let's also make a void, okay, nice, void shoot. I'm just gonna start with saying current fire delay equals fire delay. Then in here, I'm gonna check if current fire delay is greater than 0. I'm just gonna say current fire delay minus equals time the delta time, so it ticks down. Then we're gonna say if input dot get mouse button down, or mouse button is fine, fire 1, which is set up default to. Wait, why is this not working? Oh, it should be this. I should probably just change this to get button, so we can use fire 1. And current fire delay is greater than or equal to 0. Then I'm gonna say shoot. There we go. So we're gonna shoot this, and I'm gonna do play or like play sound effects, and we need to play particles, but that's gonna go later. So let's just instantiate the projectile prefab. Wait, I do need to save this actually. So let's say game on. Well, I need to save this as a rigid body, so why not? 2D called RB equals projectile prefab at firepoint.position at firepoint.rotation, and then okay, that's why does that not work? Okay, that makes sense. Game object, and let's just call this object or like projectile object, and let's say this projectile object dot get component rigid body 2D. So we're grabbing the rigid body 2D, and we're gonna say dot add force. What's it called again? It's gonna be shoot force multiplied by fire point dot forward multiplied by time dot delta time, I believe. And we're gonna handle destruction in the projectile itself. So let's head back into Unity, see if that works. This should already work, I think. So if anybody new is watching, I'm just making a super simple top-down shooter game because I haven't made one of these in a very long time. So I figured let's make one because it's fun. Nothing too complicated, but it should be fun. Okay, let's test this out. We can't rotate our weapon yet because I don't know how to do that anymore. I forgot, but we should be able to shoot. Why is fire 1 not set up? What do you mean? Okay, let's just hard code this. Well, it's not really hard code. It's just that who's gonna play this with a controller, right? So get mouse button 0, so that's the left mouse button. Should I do a reload? I don't think I should. And let's shoot force at 20. I don't know if that's good. We'll see. Okay, yeah, it works, but it's definitely. Why is that not? Oh, wait, what? Why does that not work? Current fire delay. Oh, it is working. It's just that the shoot force is way too low. Okay, let's just remove the time, not delta time. That's not really necessary. We're not doing anything multiplayer related, right? I think that's the problem. And I don't want the projectiles to move super fast, because that's not really necessary. That's just going to create issues. So this should probably be lower. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Okay. Why does that not work? If I just get rid of all these for now and then place a new one. Okay. So something weird is definitely going on. Current fire delay is over here. So something is not... Oh, it's less than or equal to 0. Of course, I flipped the check sign. I don't know if that's what it's called, like the condition. Nice. Oh, that's great. Now it should work. This is just like 90% of programming. It's still not working. So it is instantiating things. Oh, wait. Some of them are. But not all of them. Right. So these aren't. Let's see. Is it because it collided with the? Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, we don't need these to be triggers anyway. We can just make these triggers anyway. I haven't done too much stuff in Unity as of recently. Like, yeah, I made the zombies game, but that's basically it. It's still colliding, I think. Why is it not working? They don't add force mode to the .impulse. Is that what needs to be added? I'm not sure. Let's find out. No, that's not what needs to be added. Why is that not working? Let's see. Let's just switch to Unity. I'm just gonna check my own tutorial real quick. Don't worry about it. It's not like anybody's watching this anyway. Okay, I think I know what's happening. So I did fire pointed forward, but I think that isn't... It should be fire pointed up, I think. By the way, I'm not entirely sure how I'm gonna like make sprites and stuff. Okay, yeah, that's definitely working. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, that's great. You know? Fire points. That up. Well, I can just rotate it, right? Why the hell not? Oh, I guess that's why the hell not. So let's have these started like over here, and then place this over here, and then make the shoot force much smaller. I'm also thinking about making a like school starts next week, so I'm not gonna have too much time left. I really should have done all of this quite a while ago, but schools, because school starts next week again. Well, uni starts again, college. But anyway, I'm studying computer science, by the way, so you know. This should be easy. Sorry. Yeah, okay, so let's make a game object called impact particles, and let's also make a float called destroy after start. So in start I'm just gonna say invoke, or maybe just let's make a private void destroy, or let's just call it impact, I guess. Impact, and I'm just gonna call impact, or I guess I could just do name of impact after destroy after start. And I'm just gonna say game object particles equals instantiate impact particles at current position with no rotation. And then I'm gonna say destroy particles after 2 seconds, and then I'm gonna say destroy game object. So we can just call this from any other function. Let's do onTrigger enter2d. We're gonna say if collision.compare tag enemy. Well, we shouldn't be able to like deal damage, but I don't have any enemies right now. But we shouldn't be able to damage the player. So maybe we can just nest an if statement. If collision.compare. Well, we can always do layers, but I don't want to do layers, if I'm being honest. Like physics layers. So if we're not, well, I guess we can just not negate it and then just return. Then we're gonna say, well, impact goes later. Then we're gonna play separate blood particles, which we shouldn't do here. And I don't have any enemy script right now, so let's just do get component enemy health, which again doesn't exist yet. And we're just gonna say dot take damage. Let's just do 1. This probably shouldn't be hard coded. Don't hard code this, but whatever, it's fine. Let's now get started. I don't have any weapon rotation yet, but we can't run this right now because of my predictive coding. So let's make an enemy script, which should handle the enemy AI, and then we're gonna do a enemy health script. There we go. You really should order this up, but like I said, this is gonna be a teeny tiny game, so. Okay, let's make an enemy. Let's give this the enemy tag, which I made before. Move it over here or something. Give it a rigid body again. Which does it really need a rigid body? Yeah, let's just give it a rigid body, just in case. Give it a circle. Make it a circle. Give it a circle glider. Yeah, give it a circle glider. Give it an actual circle, and then make this red. Very pretty red. And let's give it eyes, because why the hell not? So let's copy and paste this. Make this like black. I'm gonna do this. Give this a different. Oh, this looks awful. But it's fine for now. I'm gonna make different sprites later. Don't worry about it. So let's put these at 3. Give this the enemy class. I added an enemy class, right? Yeah. Okay, I guess I didn't. Why not? It won't compile right now. Okay, let's make a public void take damage, which takes an integer called amount. And then we're gonna do some stuff. Now it should compile, right? Yeah, it's compiling. Let's check the audio of the stream. Public void. Yeah, so my keyboard is very loud. Sorry about that. So this is gonna handle enemy AI, and this is gonna handle, well, the enemy health script is gonna handle enemy health. So let's make a serialized field, private integer called health, or start health, like max health, I don't know. Maybe we can make an enemy that heals them. And private int current health, and then I'm gonna set this to like, I don't know, 4 or like 3. Then under start, let's say current health equals max health. Then I'm gonna say under take damage, I'm gonna do current health minus equals amount. And then let's make a serialized field, private game object. Blood particles. Then let's do game object particles equals instantiate. A lot of this stuff is the same throughout the entire game, so I probably should have a better way of doing this. I don't know how, if I'm being honest. And I'm doing a lot of coding right now, but we're gonna get into like some design stuff later. Alright, let's just put on my watch real quick. Which isn't working. Why is it not working? I'm getting messages. Okay, anyway, then let's go to update. We're gonna check if current health is less than or equal to 0, and we're not dead, because I don't want stuff to play twice. If a bool is dead, it should be false. Then we're gonna say die. Very very beautiful name. Private void die. We're just gonna say is dead equals true. I don't know if this is really necessary. If I'm being honest, I'm gonna do add score, which obviously isn't a thing yet, and I don't want this to be non-compilable. So I don't want this to not compile again, like before. Let's check. Wait, real quick. Let me check something. Making a game live. Yeah, I have some shorts. Okay, just checking my YouTube channel real quick. 1 second, guys. I'll be back in a jiffy. I just lost a subscriber. That's crazy. I go live and I lose a subscriber. Okay, that's fine. 1 second. Okay, let's get back to the stream. So I don't have any viewers. That's insane. Add score, and then we're just gonna say destroy game object for now. And we should do something with the enemy manager, but for now it's fine. Okay, before I go any further, let's head back into Unity, make everything that I just did work properly. Wait a second. Why? Huh? Wait. If I go to Unity full screen, do you guys see things updating? Oh wait, what? Why is that not happening? I don't know, if I'm being honest. That's fine. That's fine. So I got some code that I'm stealing from myself, because I never remember how to do this. So this is just my own YouTube channel. Yes, I like my own video, I know. And Silksong is coming out soon. It's releasing soon. I'm really excited. What's this? That's the woman from the show, from Better Call Saul. Okay, anyway, I'm just copying my own code here. So let's say input.mouse position. We're gonna feed into that. I'm gonna cache the camera. I'm not gonna call the camera every frame. I really should remake these old videos. I have a lot of videos I want to do, but I just don't. Yeah, I just don't. Roll to screen point. Gotta do transform that position. That doesn't work. Okay, so it's a vector 3, I guess. There we go. Direction. Let's make a float angle. It's probably gonna do, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Dot add-in to And then we're gonna do direction.y, direction.x, because we need that, multiplied by math.rad2degree. And then we're gonna say transform.rotation, not root, rotation equals quaternion.angle axis, angle vector 3.forward. So it's been such a long time since I just made shit games. Because let's be honest, there's nothing special about this game that I'm making right now, but that doesn't make it less fun to make, nor to play. Well, I guess to play a bit, but not really, you know. Okay, let's see. This should work. I shouldn't be able to shoot. Okay, there's a 90-degree difference. Let's see, why is that? Because... okay, I know why. Let's place this back at the original spot. Let's place this back at the original spot. And let's just rotate this by 270 degrees. That's horrible. But yeah, 270 degrees. That should work. There we go. And this should give an error, except it doesn't. Because the what's happening? Because the projectile doesn't have the bullet component. There we go. The weapon should also have a fire, like a field object, fire particles, which should play whenever we shoot. Let's just do that. Particles equals instantiate fire particles. Wait, am I? Yeah. Transform that. No, fire point dot position, fire point dot rotation. I think. Let's test it out. Destroy particles after 2 seconds. And I need to go. I will return later today. But yeah.